Hey, let's take a quiet moment and talk about something we all have but almost never really look at. Let's talk about the voice inside your head. I mean, really think about it. It's a simple question, right? But the more you listen, the stranger it gets. Who exactly is that in there?
You know the one I'm talking about? It's been going all day. It probably just replayed a text message you read, or whispered a reminder about groceries, or started worrying about something tomorrow. It's constantly saying, I think this, I need to do that, and we just assume it's us, the one in charge.
But here's where it gets really interesting. That last thought you had, did you actually decide to think it? Or did it kind of just show up, uninvited? Like a random song lyric or a memory from years ago, just popping into your head, fully formed. That little observation, that's where our whole journey begins.
So where is this voice even coming from? Well, it's not some little ghost living in your skull. It's actually a built-in feature of your brain's hardware. And its primary job? It's a storyteller.
Yeah, neuroscientists have actually found a whole network in our brains that kicks into gear whenever we're daydreaming or just thinking. It's like the brain's story mode. And its job is to take this constant flood of silent signals, feelings, sensations, memories, and translate them into a coherent story we can actually follow. And how does it do this? Well, your brain is, at its core, a prediction machine. It doesn't just sit back and react to the world. It's constantly building a rough draft of what it thinks is about to happen, based on everything you've ever experienced. It's always trying to be one step ahead. This whole thing works in a constant loop. So imagine you're walking a path you know like the back of your hand. Your brain predicts, yep, smooth path ahead. But then, bam, a huge tree has fallen and it's blocking your way. That's a prediction error. Your senses see the tree, your brain compares that new data to its map, and it immediately updates. Okay, new plan, path is blocked. This is happening constantly, for everything. So here's the crucial part. This narrator, this voice in your head, is often just describing mental events that are already happening. It's like a sports commentator. It isn't actually playing the game. It's just telling the story of the game as it happens, a split second after the action. And this idea leads us to a fascinating plot twist. It looks like we've been caught in a case of mistaken identity this whole time. It all comes down to timing. Brain science experiments have shown that the signals in your brain getting ready for an action can fire before you're consciously aware you've even decided to act. That feeling of, okay, I'm going to do this now, often comes a moment after the process has already started. And this little chart shows it perfectly. We feel like we're the CEO making the big decision. But the science suggests the narrator is more like a press secretary, showing up after a decision has already been set in motion to confidently explain to everyone, yep, I decided to do that. So what this really means is that the self we think we are isn't some solid, fixed thing sitting in our head. It's actually a process, a dynamic, ever-changing story the brain is constantly telling itself to make sense of the world. Okay, so if the voice is just a storyteller, then who is listening? This is where we need to shift our focus, not on the content of the mind, but on the context it all happens in. This is probably the most important distinction we can make. Your thoughts, told by that narrator, they're like clouds. They are constantly changing, moving, forming, and then just dissolving. But your awareness, that's the sky. It's the vast, open, silent space in which all of that mental weather takes place. And the sky is never, ever harmed by a storm. See, this awareness, it doesn't speak in sentences. It doesn't judge. It's just the quiet witness that simply knows that a thought is happening. It was there before the thought arrived, and it's still there after the thought fades away. It's the stable background of your entire life. So why is it so hard to notice this awareness? Because it's like an eye. The eye can see the entire world, but it can't turn around and see itself, right? Not without a mirror. Awareness is the same way. It's what illuminates every thought, feeling, and sensation, but you can't turn it back on itself to see it as an object. You can only know it by being it. So instead of trying to look at it, let's just try to feel it for a second. Let's move away from the theory and just have a brief, direct experience. So get comfortable and just listen. But you're not listening for a thought. You're listening for the silence that the thoughts appear in. Let's just be here together for a moment. Just notice any thought that shows up, and notice the space it fades back into. So what happened? You almost certainly noticed thoughts popping up. But did you also notice the quiet? That silent, open background? The little gaps between the thoughts? That quiet background? That silent knowing? That's it. That's awareness.
And you can connect with this space anytime. It's so simple. First, you just pause. Take a few seconds to stop what you're doing and listen inside. Second, you just notice. You can watch your thoughts drift by like they're just leaves floating on a river. You don't have to jump in. And third, you gently shift your attention to your senses, like the feeling of your breath or the sounds in the room. This brings you out of the story and back into reality.
If there's only one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. You are not the storyteller, and you are not the clouds of thought. You are the vast open sky that holds all of it. You're the silent listener who is simply aware of the voice. And really getting this changes everything. It doesn't stop the mental weather, the worries, the plans, the memories, but it leaves you with a really profound question to think about. If you are the sky and not the clouds, then how much does the weather of the moment truly matter?